Now for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make this super cute but really quite small dinky card. Check that one out. With the Dalmatians, all three of them all huddled together within that upside down umbrella. So what we're going to do is, to start with, we're going to bring in the dies and the stamps that coordinate with the polka dot dogs. So you can see just there, check out all these stamps just there. Then we've got the dies. So of course, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the card blank. So this one's just a nice small A6 card. Then what we're going to do is you can either stamp and die cut, or you can die cut and then stamp. So all that I'm just going to do is I'm going to bring in my stamp first. So I'm going to bring this, take this off, and then I'm going to bring in my stamping mat, bring in your stamping platform, and then for this one I'm going to use my tri-blend pen. So I'm bringing in my alcohol proof Noir Black Finesse. So we're just going to pop that one over the top like that one, so that one's ready to go. Bringing in our card blank, and then we're going to bring in the die. So if I just bring in that stamp again, just to quickly show you how this works. So that is your stamp that you've got there. You can just see it and no more. But you've got all these dies, so you can then cut over the top, you can then cut at the side with the other one, or what you can also do is then use the other side as well. So you've got three separate dies, you've got three of them that you can use in total, or you can pick and choose which ones that you want to use. So what we're going to do is bringing in that top layer one. So this one, as you can see, it matches the top of the stamp because you have got that umbrella base. So what I'm going to do is just line this one up. Now you can use a pencil line if you want, just so that you've got an idea as to how far up that you want to go. What I would then just do, just for an idea, as a guide, you can also use the stamp. So I know that the stamp will go round about to the bottom once it's stamped. So my then die needs to go just round about there. And then all that I'm going to do is just tape that down with our low tack tape. Now, like I say, you can, of course, do the stamping first if you want. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. So let's just tape that down nice and secure. So what we're going to do is pop that there, bringing in our Gemini plates. Now, depending on the size of the card that you make, determines whether you use the junior or the large. Of course, if you're making a small, like I am, you can still use the large Gemini if you want. So that's going to go through. What that's going to do is that's just going to cut that top layer of the card blank, ready for you to come along and just stamp out the image. Once you've stamped out, you can then colour with your tri-blends, your classique, maybe you want to do your aqua pens or your sparkle pens, any of these different mediums you are able to colour in. So then, bringing in all of these, bringing in my die and my card blank as well. So there is our card blank. Then all that I'm just going to do is just peel this bit off. Now don't worry too much if you rip this top bit, because this bit we are actually going to cut away. Of course, if you are careful, it just means you can use that card piece anywhere else in your crafting. So then peeling that one off, just like that, moving it to the side. Then all that I'm just going to do is bringing in my scissors. We're bringing the scissors. We're just going to just follow down this card blank here. So we're just going to go down the edge. So we're just following that all the way down. Then all that I'm just going to do is snip in at the side, just there. Then I'm just going to just snip in just at this bit here as well. Let's just snip that away. Now that starts to give us the outline of our over the edge, or in this case, over the top stamp. So then what I'm going to do now is bringing back in the stamp. We're going to bring this back in. We're just going to lay this just on my stamping platform. As you can see, this one being the largest one, it does fit onto your small stamping platform. Bringing in our ink. So again, this one is our Black Finesse. It's our alcohol proof, because we're going to colour in using our Spectrum Noirs. So just giving that a good stamp and a good coverage, just like that. Just bringing in our card blank, and then all that we're just going to do is turn it upside down, just so you are then starting to get that outline on the outside. So once I am happy, then I'm just going to just line up just like that. So I'm just making sure that the outline of the stamp actually meets with the outline of the die cut. Then I'm just going to press. So you're just pressing all of that detail in. So you're now going to get those 3 dogs. Now within our finished sample, we've got Dalmatians. You can of course colour them any way that you want. Maybe you've got a family dog and you want to colour it to look like your dog, then you can do. So I'm just going to remove that out the way. Then there is that perfect impression that you can see of your stamped image of the dogs, and of course it's over the top. You've then got all these additional stamps that you can stamp out and colour if you want. So for this one I'm going to colour in with my tri-blend pen. So I'm going to use the jade green, I'm going to use the magenta, I'm going to use my blue turquoise, and I'm also going to use my ice grey blend. So all that I'm just going to do is, let's bring in the magenta, and then all that I'm going to do is I'm going to start to colour in the base of the umbrella. So what I'm going to do now is I want the darker shades to be towards the left hand side and the right hand side there. So circular motions, and I'm using the lightest tone for this one. So I'm going right up to the edge and I'm just going along the bottom, just around that wee droplet. So I'm just doing circular motion. So I'm just going maybe about 2/3 of the way in, and then I'm also going to work all my way up the other side, and we're just doing circular motions to get that nice even blend coverage. And again, maybe just about 2/3 of the way in, giving that a good coating. We're basically just kind of giving that card base a bit of a blank space to work on. So then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip to the deep tone edge. Then we're just going to go just again, circular motions, maybe just 1/3 of the way in for this one. So we're just going to colour all of that one in, about 1/3 of the way in, working our way round, circular motions again. And then once we are happy with the amount of coverage that we've got with the deep dark blend, we're then going to flip into the middle, and we're now going to use our mid-tone. So this time what we're going to do is we're not going to go right over the actual dark tone. We're just where the dark and the light meets, circular motions. We're just going to just colour circular motions just over those lines, and we're just basically filling in what we've already coloured with the light tone. So working that over the top, and we're just blending the dark and the medium together. And then once you're happy with that one, again, just finishing off these wee areas, you can already start to see the dark just blending into the medium. Then we're just going to flip back to the lightest tone. Then all that we're going to do is we're just going to fill in this space here. So again, just where that mid-tone ends, circular motion, we're just going to work all that ink in. So we're just blending that in. Now what you'll find is after a moment or two, you let that alcohol evaporate, but already you can start to see how that 3-tone colour is just starting to blend in. So we're not going to do it all, but we will move on to the doggy. So what we're then just going to do is we're going to go to the grey. So this is the ice grey shades. Then this is where you can have a bit of fun with whatever breed of dog that you want to do. So for this one, because we've got the dogs already on and they're already white, all that I'm just going to do is I'm just using the ice grey, the light end. That's all that I'm going to use for this one, and that's the light end. And I'm just going to just freehand just some grey patches. So just freehanding that, nothing specific. I'm not doing round dots or any specific shapes, just little patches basically all over the dogs, just to make them look as though they are a bit more Dalmatian-like. So again, just fill in just bits in. So this is where it shows you, certainly with the tri-blends or maybe the classics, yes, you can do your blending, the 3-tone blend, although you can just use them as standalone colours. Each pen with the tri-blends have obviously got that one colour family, but you've got the 3 blends. So then we've taken that one, then all that I'm just going to do is I'm just bringing in my light tone. So this is my light grey, so ice grey blend, this is the light. And then I'm just going to take the lightest end, which is this one, and then I'm just going to just little dots just round the outside of the dogs. So it's on that inside line, just all the way round the dogs. And I'm just doing little dots for this one. I'm not even drawing straight lines, just little dots. And what this is going to do is this is going to break up the definition of the dogs just being all white with grey patches. And then what you can even do, just with that lightest tone, if you want to just go over a wee bit of the dark patches that you've already done, and then that also starts to just kind of subtly blend in those patches of the Dalmatian dogs. So then we can just do that bit, and then let's bring in just a wee bit of pink for their nose. So we can actually, no, let's go for a dark nose. So let's go back to the ice grey shade. Let's go for the mid-tone, and we're just going to just add a bit of deepness. But all that I'm going to do as well, just a wee little trick, when we go to colour in, it's very subtle on my actual colouring, but there's a tiny wee white dot that I've just left, a tiny wee white area, and that just lets the nose just kind of give that bit, as if the nose is a bit wet like you would find with dogs. And then all that we'll just do, just to do this last bit, is let's just bring in, we'll use the jade green, and we're going to colour in the bow. So for the bow, again, all that I'm just going to do is I've taken the lightest end, and then I'm just going to just colour in. So the lightest end towards the inside of the bow. And again, maybe just about 2/3 of the way in. Let's also do the same on the other side. So 2/3 of the way in. Then all that I'm going to do is flip to the dark side. And then we're just going to circular motions, just about 1/3 of the way in. So we're following exactly the same technique as we've done with the base of the umbrella. Then we're now going to the mid-tone, and we're just going to blend those two in that you can see just there. Blend in and blend in. Then we can go back to the light tone, and we're just going to blend those two in there that you can see. So just blending that in with the light tone at the end. Then I'm going to just flip to the middle. I'm not going to do any blending with the centre of the bow. I'm just going to keep that so it's nice and dark. And same with just the inside, the wee shadow parts of inside the bow. Then that's all that I'm going to do with that one. So you can start to see how even now as the alcohol evaporates, you can see how that colour just works well, just perfectly well together. You've got the umbrella at the bottom, you've even got the wee dots within the polka dots of the dogs coming together. So then what we can do is let's bring in this one that I just done earlier on. So this lets you see what it looks like once it's all coloured in and it's all been shaded in, that you can see just there. So then let's take all of that out the way. We're then just going to bring in some additional elements that are also within the box. So you've got these pattern papers and you've got the cardstock as well. So I've just cut these to size just so that I can mat and layer. Bringing in my tape runner. So we're just going to add our tape all the way around, and then all that we're just going to do is we're just going to finish by building up all the detail on the card, just so that we can have that coloured image on the forefront just nicely sitting on top of a nice pattern background. So again, let's go all the way around just with our tape runner. So we're just going to add that, and then we're going to pop that in the middle. So you're going to see now the difference between the front and then just adding in a layer on the back, and you're going to see the difference already. You can just see the doggies just coming to life. So then let's bring in a sentiment. So I've just stamped, have a lovely day, and I've just popped these wee dewdrops already on, keeping in mind that these are self-adhesive. Let's bring in a foam pad just to lift that a bit higher, so we can just pop that over the top. Then that can sit just to the top left, just there. Then we've also got just a few additional elements. So we've got a couple of wee hearts that you can see there. We've even got this wee mouse as well. So he's just hanging on with the balloon. So all that we're then just going to do is let's just bring in a couple of foam pads as well. So let's just bring in the wee one just with the heart. So we can take that one off. Let's just add tape instead. So popping that one on, and then let's actually just pop that just over the top of have. And then for this one, let's just add, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some adhesive just at the top of the balloon. I'm not adding anything to the base, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that just to the end of the sentiment, and then that just makes it look as though it's free flowing just ever so slightly. And then just to finish off, what we can do is I've got a few other of these wee dewdrops. I'm just going to add them just to the bottom of the umbrella. So you've got a variety of different sizes. using the pokey tool, and I'm just going to just place them so it's as if the water droplets are just splashing out from the water. I've kept them clear, but you can, of course, if you want, add some colour onto these droplets. It's entirely up to yourself. So I'm just going to leave it, let's actually add one more down to the base just there. I'm going to leave it just there, and then there we go. This is how we have then created this A6 over the edge, or on this occasion the over the top card, using our brand new box, which is all about the over the edge cards and dies stamp set.